in on that. Before she was on the board, she FOIA'd us to death.
Oops.
But what happens is like so from a technical or practical aspect is when you do these keyword searches of your electronic documents, it pulls in 10, 20 to 1 unrelevant documents to the search query. And so you'll have 1,000 documents or more that has to be downloaded and searched.
Our guests in this segment, the president of the Berkeley County Board of Education, Jackee Long. Jack.
Hi, good morning.
Vice President Melissa Power.
Good morning.
As if the world didn't already know.
The queen of FOIAs.
Apparently, yeah. How
Hey.
about that?
You know what?
Needless. Some of our staff spent hours and days and weeks on those.
Not that you're bitter about it, Jackee.
No, I'm
really.
not.
Not at all. I will say there is an appreciation that I have for people who submit FOIAs. They have to do certain things, certain research on how to actually craft a good letter to FOIA request. I've seen some FOIA request letters that I've gone, oh, that's funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I mean, you have to craft it well. I have to say you have to craft it well, but then you also have to understand that you're not going to get all the information back that you typically would hope to get back.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a
It
big
is a lot.
disappointment for the people that get it. A lot of times.
And
Was
even
I
if you don't
disappointed?
craft it well, you still have to answer it.
I think where I struggled was where, when I crafted questions, I would ask for like a bottom line number. I didn't care about names. I didn't care about positions. I didn't care about students or anything. I just wanted a number.
So those 10-page FOIA requests you sent us, you just wanted a number?
There were actually, can I tell you what those 10-page FOIA requests were?
I know what
they
they
were
were.
individual FOIAs.
I know.
I did a FOIA request for each individual topic. Anyway, that was where I was like, well, wait, all you're giving me is a number. That's not information that's protected. Like, you have to tell the legislator how many number of kids you have in the school or how many employees you have.
Was easy.
They never gave me a number. They never gave me a number. I got over it.
Some things you don't have to.
By the way, I want
You don't have to give, and I got over it, and I'm fine. And I work with everybody there in the board office, and I think they like
for-
me now.
now.
She thinks that.
Hey, at least they're nice to my face.
So thank you to Ron Long for sending in the Hostess Ho-Hos and Donuts today.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of him to do that. And I got an advance copy of Tyler's book, your son, regarding Mount Everest. He was going to be on today, then he got the flu.
Yeah.
So guess who subbed in? Mom is here. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it's good timing though too, because as the legislature wraps up this session over the next couple of days.
She dragged me along for this. No. She dragged me along for this.
You signed up for that.
I didn't.
Yes,
not.
you did.
I did sign up for
You
part of
asked
it.
us both, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
You did ask us both, but I said because she goes, only if Melissa can.
Well, that
And you
was
said only if I can.
that was part of the invite. It was a dual text.
It was a dual text.
It was a dual text.
But yes, good timing. Yes.
Excuse me. We had Mike Hornby on talking about some of the education bills they're considering. As this session ends, what have you been watching, Jackee? And then I'll go to you, Melissa, after that in terms of legislation and how it will affect schools.
Well, definitely the locality pay bill, and any legislation that comes down that gives us an unfunded mandate.
Do you see any of those that are going to get through, or have you?
I haven't seen too many bills, particularly that affect education.
Mike was talking about the school aid formula and
Yes.
overhauling that entire thing. What needs to change in the school aid formula?
He has worked on that tirelessly. They need to fund more positions. We don't get near enough. It's so many individuals per 1,000 students. That's not nearly enough for Berkeley County, any county for that matter, even small counties.
Well, give me an idea, and you don't have to be specific, but just a general, what the formula might be per 1,000 now, and what you really need it to be effective.
Well, I will give you an example, and I think it's still this. I could be wrong. It was 46 or 47 staff per 1,000 kids.
And staff includes everybody who goes into a school that helps the
No,
school
that's
run?
professional. And service, it was like 38, 39, and I'm off those numbers because I
Okay.
know it's changed, but it's not adequate.
What if it's 46? What should it be per 1,000?
Oh, if it could be 55, it would be wonderful, and 45, it would be. But even if it's increased, a small amount would be very helpful. I remember one year when the legislature gave growth counties a little bit of bump in dollars in formula, and it created 1.5 service persons in Berkeley County. And I remember the chair of House Ed telling me, "There's no way that's accurate." I said, I'm telling you exactly that's accurate. That's how many service personnel we got from that little bit of bump that you think.
1.5 per thousand, or 1.5 total?
1.5 total.
So you got a full-time and a part-time.
Yes.
That's it.
That was it. And when you come from very smaller counties, that might be a lot, and that might be very helpful. But we are very much over formula that comes out of the excess levy to pay many of these people. And it can't be helped. You have to have individuals in many of those classrooms, special ed especially. We get dollars for those individuals, but you still have to find the staff.
Melissa?
And we pay more. Honestly, we pay more than what we actually receive from state and federal funding. So that's specified for special ed. So we actually do about $1.5 million over our budget that is specifically and only can be spent on special education. So we have, and I do not quote me on the exact number, but I believe we have just over 4,000 students who have IEPs in some form or fashion that require extra service in some capacity. Some require more services, some not as much. Either way, when you look at some of our counties in the state of West Virginia that maybe hit 2,500 students in the entire county, we're talking, a greater number of students just in our county that require just special needs. And so it's very, very interesting when you talk about from one end of the county to the other, or one end of the state to the other, where there's so many differences in the counties and the structure of how schools and students and population are.
Why is there such a greater population of special needs students in Berkeley County? Is it just because there's more students?
We both can tell you that because of people moving in from border counties and border states that bring their students here because of the code. West Virginia is one of the states that gives more special ed services than anybody in the nation.
I remember working in Washington County Public Schools, and we had a family that actually specifically moved to Berkeley County because of the care that their child could get from the Berkeley County schools that Washington County could not provide.
Okay.
What kind of care in excess of what's typically given happens in Berkeley County that doesn't happen elsewhere?
You mean, well, code-wise?
Code-wise, yeah.
I actually don't know. I only know what much of the code is here, but evidently in other states it's just bare minimum.
Well, and that's let's be transparent. That was back in 2017. So, and if anybody is thinking that oh well, that wasn't like that 2 years ago. Well, okay, that was 2 years ago, but back in 2017, people moved here for that, and so that increased that population. But then we've also become a bedroom community.
Yeah,
right.
People are just moving here.
People are moving here. They might work outside of our state, in certain pockets of our county, and so because we are in this, I-81 is this hub. It gives you that thoroughfare of being able to quickly hop on and get to where you need to go for a job that maybe pays more than here, and you get the small, quaint community feel here than what you might say in Frederick County, Maryland.
When we talk special needs, I'm going to guess there's a bell curve of special needs and go from profoundly handicapped to whatever's the other end of the bell curve. Are we talking gifted and talented on that as well?
Yes.
So what is the middle of the bell curve when we're talking special needs? Is this ADHD? Is it?
There's from a 504 plan to...
I don't know what that means.
Well, somebody that's not handicapped, but they may need some additional...
Reading difficulties, that sort of thing?
Well, yes, but even... some social issue or some, just some kind of handicap that prevents them from doing as well as they expected in their regular classroom setting. It could be many things. And those individuals, those 504 plans are very justified. So, excuse me.
So the 504 plan is a specialized learning.
Yeah, it's an
plan.
IEP.
Yes.
Okay.
If so 504 and IEP, I mean, you can say that they're an interchangeable service. There's some differences between the two, and I will say something, but I absolutely can get my hand smacked on this one. That's totally fine, or be told you were absolutely wrong. I picture, and in my brain, 504 is not necessarily it's as important as an IEP, but it is not as so finely detailed like an IEP is supposed to be structured. It's almost like 504 is where you can get started or have like maybe just one little issue that you might need to work on, but then IEPs are like, okay, in depth, and it addresses every single aspect of a youth learning.
Well,
I can be wrong if
some of those 504s
that's my understanding.
are like that, and I'm sure parents that have children on 504s might definitely agree with that or disagree. So, but each one is unique.
If to the child. Correct.
So if we, I don't have the right vocabulary for this. So if we divide the population of students into two groups, mainstream and falling into these special categories, right? What percentage of the student population is what I would call mainstream, no special program, no anything, or go the other way around, which is what population has special needs?
Well, if you take 4,000 minus 20,
it's about like a 25% of our students are IEP 504, and the remainder, so anywhere from 75 to 80%. Correct.
That's high.
Well, if you take 4,000 from 20,000.
Now, is that unusual in a school system? If we go to Loudoun or Fairfax or Montgomery County, we're going to find
unusual for West Virginia.
It's unusual for West Virginia. I can't speak to other states and what their counties are in comparison to their states' counties. I can only tell you what's West Virginia.
So if we move out to, I don't know, Mingo County, to another county, what is happening to those students there?
I couldn't tell you.
What do you mean?
Well, without these programs.
Well, who makes the determination that gets a student into that they have
it's multifaceted.
a need, like either that they're advanced or they're behind?
Well, the parent can ask for
an evaluation.
And then they go from there. Or a teacher asks for an evaluation, or the principal. All those occur all the time.
And it can be from and include psychiatry. It can include your general physician. It can include a specialized doctor. And then there's also, the collaboration of educators and how does that, what specialized. So if I'm mainstream, first grade teacher, but I notice that little Johnny Gilstrap might potentially have dyslexia, I might say that I think he has dyslexia, but I would be calling on a specialist to come in and do that evaluation, not necessarily myself. I could probably spot it, but I would be asking for somebody else to come in. And I picked on you because you write a lot of words.
Well, and I didn't.
Thank you for not saying pages, by the way. He gets offended by that.
Trust me, I know that. The last time I was here, it was. I got my hand smacked.
You were the one, weren't you?
Yes, I was.
Yes,
I was.
Right.
I was.
She's always the one.
The abuse that I get, I guess that's probably because I submitted all those FOIAs, right?
That's it.
Yeah.
It's get even time.
I have forgot some, but not totally.
Revenge.
You have a Board of Education meeting Monday night.
Yes, sir.
All right. I know you're going to be doing a school construction and bond update during that as well.
Yes.
Can you
We
tell us?
have one tonight.
We have
a work session.
We have a work session, but not the
for
bond.
the budget.
Yeah.
But not the bond update. What he was saying.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Melissa.
Oh,
Just
sorry.
I'm
I didn't
being
hear
actually
that.
complimentary. Thank you. That was not me being a smart aleck.
sometimes we can't tell.
I'm very dry.
Welcome to my world.
So, could you give us an update on the construction projects and such? Is that possible, or are you out of order if you do that?
No, I don't think we're so out of order.
Tomahawk has their first wing completed.
Yeah.
And
Fourth
then,
grade wing.
and we're
Starting
working on
on the 5th.
Yep, we're starting that, and then we're starting the second wing for them. Or actually it's already started, and then we've already started construction on the Hedgesville Early Learning Academy.
The foundation's up. The some of the electrical things that they had to do to get really started. We had bid openings yesterday for Mountain Ridge Primary, Elementary.
Yes.
That went well. So we're moving right along.
Yeah.
All right.
It was slow go for a while, but
And
you
there's
know
some-
it takes a long time to get those plans in effect and drawings and
Yeah.
And Mountain Ridge Elementary is new construction,
Yes.
yes,
ground up,
Yes.
ground up,
right? And what size school will that be?
about 600.
Yeah, I was going to say it's going to be between like 500 to 600
600.
students.
And this is a serious question. How over capacity will you be by the time that's completed and opened?
I hope none.
We allowed for some growth in there, and based upon not just our study that we had done several years ago, but also for the study that was just like there was a reevaluation, a follow-up, where we are confident that when that opens, unless God really wants every little piece of pocket of land to be built up in Wood Mountain Ridge area, which I don't think is going to happen. It will
I
be.
don't know.
Well, I said every pocket of land. I didn't say I didn't say the little developments that are still popping up, but I anticipate that we should be okay.
And SBA only allows you to, if you're using any of their funding, to go over so many students. I mean, you can't have 600 students that you think you're going to put in there and then maybe build for 9. That's not permissible if you're using
How many
SBA
additional
funding.
teachers and staff will you need to hire for that building?
Some of them are being
I'd say-
transferred over,
Yeah.
or you know.
But I mean, we could easily use 40, 50 staff members there easily.
Where will you find them?
Well, just online on the bidding process. Yeah, that's always the clincher. Where will you find them? And, you know, some people, as Melissa said, will transfer to those locations.
But you have to
still
replace
at
the personal
end-
transfers,
Yes.
right?
It feels like just about a year ago that North Middle School was dominating the headlines.
Of course.
How are
yes.
things going
Oh,
now?
yeah.
Oh,
A
exceptional.
lot better.
Can we
A
call
lot
it a
better.
success
Well,
story
I
yet?
shouldn't say exceptional but such a big difference.
We're getting called out by the state board as well as the State Board of Education department, or the Department of Education office, that we've done a great job in one, listening to what their input, but then also activating the change that needed to take place in that
And-
school
and-
to see the better results.
When she says we, not the board, but
The whole the Berkeley County
staff
schools.
there.
Yes, yes,
The central office team.
yes.
So,
Dr.
what are the
Sachs.
replicable changes, lessons that were learned that now could be pushed out to other schools? That
Well,
Put
that's
a 6'10", 300-pound principal in place.
well, I will say, I would say that that's a good question for Dr. Sachs, because Dr. Sachs works in the everyday operations of things, and he would probably be better.
He
to
actually did
handle-
address that question last week.
Okay,
Oh,
well, then
and
you need to
Holly.
fall back on that.
Holly Klettner also. And I think when Mr. Murphy and I visited there last, which
Yes.
wasn't long ago, I mean, the discipline is night and day.
You walk in the school and it's different.
And
it's a different
they
atmosphere.
kids
have...
shackled to the walls.
No,
and-
not at all. No, it's just a very calming effect.
Leave that for your books.
And they have an assistant principal located office, more or less, at every wing, 6th, 7th, and 8th, and that's played a big part. I think, you know, they had a lot of staff input there, which really, you know, when you get everybody working together as a team, they all want the same thing, and it's just been...
And you'll be
Really good.
addressing the student code of conduct on Monday night at your board meeting too, will you not?
Yes, that's just more or less and changes that the state's made, or it's not really anything that we...
It's not
because we
major.
made a lot of
Okay.
changes to that policy last year
Yeah, last year was
when
more
the discipline committee...
Yeah.
Had Van Meter on the program not too long ago talking about attendance issues. Are you making any substantial progress in ways of dealing with truancy in the school system? That expression and that sign may make a statement.
I feel that way, and I think the truancy court that was established is helping a lot. I think it's moving slower than we had hoped, and the magistrates had hoped. But it's a process, and I do think things are improving.
Ask us that next year, please.
Yeah, I'll let you know at
Because
the end of the year.
sometimes things are a little bit slower than what, just like Jackee said, a little bit slower than what we were hoping for or anticipating or thinking would be, and that was my big sigh. I wish I could give you a better, yes, night and day like North is, but
I think
Why are
how,
they so slow? Why is the process so slow?
they're overwhelmed. I mean, the magistrates have got a lot on their plate.
Well,
I'll be honest.
I don't know how much the thinking has changed for parents that are dealing with those those attendance issues for their child. So, if you get parents on board with, Johnny's got to be there. But I do think that the Hal Van Meter's staff, they beat the bushes and
They do.
get those kids in there.
I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they
either.
do it. They do an exceptional job.
About a minute and a half left here. Anything else we need to know about before we run out of time here? And I know volunteering information isn't the best thing to do,
You brought notes.
but
I always bring notes. He never asks me anything, but at least I don't bring a 3-inch notebook like Mr. Murphy does.
Mr. Murphy
Oh,
comes
heavens,
prepared.
Yes.
With his sticky notes.
Yeah, with these sticky notes.
He's
Same way at
made a
the board
small
meetings.
investment
Yeah.
in the sticky note industry.
That's right. Post-it loves him.
Yes.
Well, if in your notes you have something you want to share, now's the time to do it.
No, we're just working on the budget, and
Is that workshop open to everybody?
Yeah,
They can,
it's a regular board
That's
meeting.
tonight.
Yeah.
It's not a regular boarding. It's called a special board meeting, but it's open to
It's
the
a work
public.
session, yeah.
Yeah.
At 5 p.m. Board
So-
office.
5
They're
p.m.
on
board
Winchester
office.
Yeah.
Winchester Avenue, 1453
Yes.
Winchester Avenue.
All right, and it ends at what time?
Whenever
when we
we're
can
done.
get finished.
All right, Dylan, you had something real quick before we head to the break here?
You were asking about the national number of kids involved in special education or needing IEPs. You said it was about 25% in the county. Nationally, as of the numbers from the Department of Education, 2020-2021 school year was 17%.
For Berkeley?
No, for
national.
national
national.
average.
To compare it.
Because John was
Yeah.
asking
So
about that.
we're
Yeah.
definitely
above
over
average.
that.
Dylan, thank you. I didn't
So
notice
many
your
ways.
pencil. Sorry.
That
Yeah.
gives you a ho-ho.
Watch your language.
Yeah, I better watch what I'm saying.
Dylan is a substitute teacher in the Berkeley
I
County school
know.
system, too, so that's pretty good. All right, thank you, ladies.
Thank you.